Okay, Emily, let's try and figure this one out. It looks like so if we turn our snaps on, so down across the bottom here, if like I want to actually snap to geometry, I have to have whatever these are checked, right? So if I just draw a point here, and then I zoom into that point, yeah, so I can already tell I'm not connected there. If I do the same thing down here, and zoom into that point, let's see, those look fairly connected, or at least they look like it, but let's see what's going on here. So if I take all of this, let's say I take this, pull it over here, and drawing with the ellipse tool. So we'll do from the center, which will be the midpoint of this line. And I snap to the end point and make my...
Making a hamburger?
No, I'm making a video for a student.
Oh, okay. That just looked like a hamburger. Huh?
No. No.
I was like, okay, he's branching out from mac and cheese to go to hamburgers.
No, she's going to hear all this too.
Huh?
She's going to hear all that too.
Oh,
Oh, you're good. I'm not editing it. I'm just sending it straight to YouTube.
sorry.
Oh, you're fine. And then we place it. Looks like something like that. And let's see, your offset is here. So that's like 2 millimeters. So we'll run that. Distance 2, and then down there, and then run the trim command, and let's see, I just like to select kind of both things I'm working with, and then enter when done, select object to trim, oops, let's rerun that. So I got those two, and that one. And then we hit enter to say we're done. So yeah, so I've got those two separate parts, just like over here, but I've definitely used all my snaps while constructing this. Even if you don't, you should be able to still put these two together, but let's see. So if I try to join your parts, in there, oh, it worked fine. Yeah, I didn't even mess with your stuff, so that works fine. And then we'll join these, and that also works fine. So then if I were to take this part, move it around, and then rotate it, so like I click on that, then hold shift, right, so it's locked in place. Oops. Come on. There we go. And then I can move this, so using a move command, so I can move this, enter when done, from midpoint to, so I've got my quadrant selected, so I can snap that to quadrant, and then I can sweep that if I want to. Of course, it's kind of big, so if I want to scale that down, and then we move that again, snap it to the quad. Then you can run your sweep if you would like. So your sweep 1, we want to select our rail, which is your ring, and cross-section curve is what we just made. Enter on done, enter, and that should be good. So there's your sweep along with your trim. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess I'm not sure maybe what happened with your object, but it actually seemed to work pretty okay. Because even with the snaps disabled, right? Like I can still draw an ellipse. It's just not gonna be perfect. So I can't really utilize this line and kind of eye it up, right? And say like, okay, I want it there, and then like, I don't know, there, and then here. Of course, I was not anywhere near the middle. But then I can still offset this, and I can still use trim, right? So I can still like, trim all that stuff back, enter when done. And I should still be able to easily join that. That's all without snaps. And then, so like, this is where it probably becomes a little bit more problematic if you're not using snaps. If you're like just trying to kind of like eye this up, it's probably not going to work. Just a little rotation, probably not going to work great. So we'll shrink it. So I'm grabbing this handle, but I hold shift, and then I can scale it kind of dynamically with the gumball. You can still use a scale tool, and that'll give you a much more accurate scale, but the gumball works fine if you're stop rotating that. Gumball works fine. So let's see. We'll move. Yeah, we don't really have a place to move from, so let's say I'm like, trying to get that. This is all without snaps. It's probably not what you should do, but I'm just curious to see what happens. Move it close to that rail, and then we'll try to sweep it. See what this does. So select rail, cross section. Yeah, okay, so it'll still sweep it. Actually looks, it's closed. Yeah, actually looks pretty good. You can see that I just wasn't, it's just not accurate because we can see the curve here and the ring here. There's kind of an offset between the two, like just barely. Whereas this one's right on. So hopefully that answers your question.